take effect. We're back in Africa. Malian authorities have issued a decree banning political party activities amid calls on the ruling army junta to organize elections. The announcement was made by the government spokesperson Abdoulaye Maiga, who explained that the ban on political activities was made in the interest of maintaining public order. The statement did not specify any threats to public order emanating from political parties, and there was no indication on when the suspension would be lifted. Recall that Mali has been under army rule since August 2020. Last September, the junta indicated it would renege on a promise to organize elections meant to bring back civilian rule this past February, citing technical reasons. And after the March transition deadline passed without a vote, many political parties and civil society organizations reacted by demanding elections. I'm joined now by publisher Inside Watch Africa, Seyi Adeyemo, for more on this development. Thank you for joining us on the news this hour. The move by Mali's ruling junta to suspend political activities follows last year's decision to call off elections indefinitely. They say it's to preserve public order. What do you make of this development?
It's worrisome because most of us are that when you do whatever you do and you allow military portion into the administration of any country anywhere in the world, it's always so very difficult to get them out of government. So again, we're starting a cycle. Yes, the situation in Mali was very dire. It was a situation where there were a lot of Islamic portions of the country. Things were going from bad to worse. The economy of the country was going down, and the way things were run at the time was badly run. And the military came in the belief that they were going to bring the respite and they were going to correct a lot of things. So some people will argue that the problem is very deep and that is not something you would expect will be corrected in a short time. Yes, we're back in another cycle, which for me is worrisome. I mean, I would just want to describe it as a worrisome situation that we have in our hands right now.
According to the army spokesperson, the suspension was motivated by what he called sterile discussions during an attempt at national dialogue earlier this year. You've talked about the Hydra-headed problems that Mali is faced with, experienced two coups since 2020, setting off a wave of political instability that has now swept across West and Central Africa. The country has also battled, in fact, continues to battle worsening insurgency by jihadi groups. You recall that French troops were also let go, I think, in 2022 before new affiliations with Russia. Do you think these issues are issues that an election will solve, considering the way we seem to paint it in Africa?
Obviously, I mean, that's why they came in the first place. Unfortunately, whether they are, politically elected or, come in by coup, what you want in any country is a good leader. We've had situations where people were actually of the military corps, like Thomas Sankara, and they did well, and they are still, Thomas Sankara is still being remembered today as a good leader. And nobody really would put a tag or toga of the fact that he was a military leader. The current president of Rwanda, he came in, as a military leader and probably one of the best leaders that we have in Africa right now. So it's not a matter of whether it is military or political, So just calling people to come and have a political exercise is not enough, and that is something we need to quickly deal with in Africa so that we do things right, because it is better to have a democratic government, because then you have balance and check so that we can have, because at the end of the day, it is the good of the people that we're all worried about. So whether you're, wearing uniform or you're not wearing uniform, what we just want is good governance in Africa.
So after years of growing frustration over the lack of progress with French troops to help push back the insurgents, the junta turned to Russian contractors for security support. What do you make of the Russian influence vis-a-vis the usual Western pressure for a return to democracy?
You see, again, in some kind of way, we're talking about like the word you use, contract. Africa or Africans should realize if we're not careful, we're becoming like a product in the hands of the rest of the world. Whether it is Russia, whether it's Europe, whether it's America, whether it's China or China, in some ways, everybody is looking out for themselves. The question is, what is Africa doing itself? Do we understand that every day, everybody's negotiating, they're looking out for how they can best benefit from whatever transaction that is going on. They need security, they need to have people help them in the way they deal with Islamic extortion, economy, and all of that. And everybody's jostling for, whether there is war in Russia, between Russia and Ukraine or not, they need to start for their own country. And so they're looking for opportunities where they can deal. And if we continue to make ourselves available for other people to deal with us and deal, in us, then that's the situation that we have on our hands right now. And I pray that we wake up. I'm referring to our leaders right now, so that we can start doing things right, so that it will benefit our people, more than it is right now.
Absolutely. Publisher inside Watch Africa, Seyi Adeyemo, thank you for talking to us.
Thank you so much for having me.
As the conflict in